Okay, so Captain America has super strength, but why did he get it? Well, I have a theory. Welcome to Kevin's commentary on comics. So I've been focusing on Captain America in the early to mid 70s, mainly centered around his acquisition of super strength. Basically, it was due to a combination of the super soldier serum in his blood and the herbs used in the villain Viper's darts and antidote that have given him enhanced strength. I went through 7 issues last time, and really the super strength didn't come into play that much. So why did Marvel give the super strength to Captain America? Well, I think the answer can be found in the next issue I'm reviewing, namely Captain America and the Falcon number 169 from January 1974, When a Legend Dies. This is written by Steve Englehart and Mike Frederick with a cover and interior art by Sal Buscema. So we open this one with the Falcon sauntering down the streets of Harlem, just having a great day, when he is suddenly jumped by Boss Morgan's gang. Now, while a great fighter, the Falcon finds the 5-to-1 odds a bit daunting. Enter his partner, Captain America, who, with his enhanced strength, I guess, fights off the gang so much so that they run away. Cap wants to go after them, but the Falcon says no. Now, I just want to point out here, I think Captain America could have fought a gang of 5 with or without super strength, but at any rate, Cap want to go after him, but the Falcon says no. He's actually kind of pissed that the only reason the gang ran away was because Cap showed up and not because they were scared of the Falcon. He finally says what has been on his mind ever since Cap got his enhanced strength. He needs to be something more than a costumed athlete if he is going to remain Cap's partner. They sit down in the streets to discuss this. Cap suggests, well, maybe Hank Pym could invent a serum for him, or Tony Stark could devise something mechanical. I actually kind of thought this was a funny conversation. Basically, Cap is saying that he has resources that could give just about anyone some sort of superpower, and I guess this has never come up before now. Kind of seems unlikely, especially since there's probably been times that Cap himself wanted to boost his own powers, or give himself powers, or whatever, and he never considered these options before. Again, kind of find that unlikely, but alright. But this is why I believe they gave Cap super strength, as nothing more really than a plot device designed to give the Falcon some extra powers. Now, we all know what those powers are, or they will be, namely wings, but doesn't this seem like a long way to go to give a bird-based hero wings? Now, I'm not saying that this insight of mine is groundbreaking. It's actually kind of obvious that this was what they were leading to, but considering the fact that Cap's strength had little impact on these stories, did we really need to go way out here in order to give Falcon some powers? I mean, just being a partner of Captain America must be pretty intimidating by itself, let alone a Captain America that is super strong. So the Falcon could have said at just about at any point, hey man, I need a better edge if I'm going to continue to fight with you. You are just too dang cool. And I'll tell you, I'm going to continue my review of Captain America through the Secret Empire storyline, because I think that's one of the best Captain America stories ever told. But let me just tie up this whole super strength here by saying that I have read Captain America through issue number 218, which came out in February 1978. There is very little made of Cap's super strength in these issues, and then it's just all dismissed in one panel in 218 where Cap, via a thought bubble, tells everyone, the readers, that the Viper's injection wore off and he no longer had super strength. What? That's it? No big depowering or anything like that? No, of course not, because I go back to my thoughts that maybe not everyone within Marvel was on board with this power up for Cap anyway. I mean, Jack Kirby did 22 issues from 193 to 214, and by did, I mean he edited, wrote, and drew these issues, and I don't believe he referenced the super strength once. Cap had super strength for 5 years worth of comics, and probably it only played a small factor in maybe a handful of issues. So barring some behind the scenes information about this whole thing, of which I've not found at all so far, I can only assume that this powering up of Cap was just a plot device to actually power up the Falcon. Am I wrong? Maybe. But it's really the only thing that makes sense to me, just because they never really emphasized the super strength that much, didn't come into play in the comics that much, and that's it. So leave a comment if you have other thoughts on this. This is really just my opinion based on what I've read. So that ends that super strength plot I've been going on for the last couple of episodes. But back to the heroes sitting in the streets discussing ways for the Falcon to get some extra powers. So the Falcon says he doesn't want the help of Pym or Stark. He wants to get it from the Black Panther because, well, he's black, and that would make the Falcon feel easier. Okay, so first off, yes, the Black Panther does make sense because he's just as scientifical as Pym and Stark, but because he's black? Now, I don't want to go on a racial rant, but could you imagine if a white costume athlete said he wanted help from Stark because Stark is white? That would be insane. Now, I do have to give some allowances here that this was written back in the 70s, and black equality was certainly a hot topic. It still is. But couldn't they have just ditched all the Pym and Stark talk and just had the Falcon or Cap suggest the Black Panther and leave it at that? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they're making a point. Anyway, this is a comic commentary, not a social commentary. So Cap agrees to set up a meeting for the Falcon with the Black Panther. But on Cap's way, he sees a TV ad proclaiming that Captain America is a menace to the American principles. What? Captain America is? Wow again. So we'll get into that in just a few. But first, the Falcon meets up with the Black Panther to go to Wakanda to work on something to make the Falcon more superheroic. And of course, the Falcon brings Layla along, mainly because the Falcon's trouble with Boss Morgan. Layla could be in danger if he wasn't around. So meanwhile, Cap confronts the guy who put out the ad smearing of Captain America's good name. The man, Quentin Harderman, says that he's done this simply to promote his committee to regain American principles and is willing to change his opinion if Cap contributes his boxing skills to a charity event that he's tied to. Cap agrees and storms out, and almost immediately he encounters a robbery in progress by none other than the Tumbler, who honestly I've never heard of before, but apparently he fought Cap way back in Tales of Suspense number 83. Cap catches up with the Tumbler, they fight for a bit, but the Tumbler gets away. Cut to the next day, when Cap is at the charity event, he sees Harderman, who introduces Cap's partner in the event, John Robert Keene, who Cap instantly recognizes as the Tumbler. Keene runs for it, and Cap takes him down courtesy of his shield, but before you know it, Keene suddenly dies. Everyone thinks Captain America killed this civilian. Harderman thinks how his plan is going perfectly, and we see from the ceiling a mysterious costume figure who shot a thin laser beam through Keene's skull. Who is this man? Well, we will find out in the next issue, but that will be for the next episode. So I'm Kevin, and that was my commentary. Again, I wanted to wrap up the whole super strength thing. I honestly think that was nothing more than a plot device to give the Falcon powers, and I don't really understand why they needed to go about this. Again, if I'm thinking behind the scenes, someone thought, hey, let's do this. This will be awesome. We now give Captain America some super strength that will make him a little bit more formidable than he is already. And I think there were another side to the Marvel bullpen that said, no, Captain America doesn't need super strength. He's the peak of human perfection. That's what makes him so cool. He doesn't have superpowers, and yet he's right up there with Thor and Hulk and Iron Man. So why give him super strength? So yeah, I kind of think maybe they just made a mistake by giving Cap powers. I wonder if the whole end game to it was so that the Falcon got powers, because really, if you do think about it, Cap being super strong certainly could make the Falcon feel threatened or intimidated or whatever. But like I said, you're a partner to Captain America, you're going to be intimidated no matter who you are and no matter what powers you have. I don't think it would really make a difference. Yeah, maybe because it's still the early 70s, Captain America isn't quite the Captain America that we know today. I don't know. He's still pretty legendary even back then, so who knows? I don't know. Like I said, unless someone can come up with some of the writers or someone behind the scenes in the bullpen who may have a better story or the actual story behind all this, I would love to hear it. So if you happen to know it or know of a link somewhere where I could read about this, that would be super duper awesome. At any rate, we will be going into the Secret Empire story. We've actually kind of started it with this one right here. So the next few episodes will be devoted to that, although I am going to skip on my 100th episode to kind of do something special there. But if you want to see this, hear this, know what I'm going to say, subscribe to my channel, and hey, like and share this video because I would appreciate it. But for now, go out, make that day a great one, and I will see you.